Deuane Hessel, and this is Java 2 Interview 1. First question is calculate the sum of the following series of numbers: 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, all the way to 100. So you're counting from 10 by 2s up to 100, from 10 to 100. So you want to set the public static void main string args and set the int sum to equal 0 to start, and then you're going to loop from 0 to 100 incremented by 2. So you're going to have a for loop. So the for and the int starts at 10, int I starts at 10, and then the increment I is less than or equal to 100, and then the ending is or the increment by I plus 2, and then you sum it by 1, by the increment, and then you print screen the sum of the series is, and then the sum. So I'm going to run this. And the sum of the series is 2,530. Okay. And then number 2, you take the you take an input from a user for their name and age, and then you print out the values. So what you want is to import the Java util scanner, and then you put in the public class, and then you put the public static void main, and then you want to create a scanner. So scanner input, new scanner, and then the system in, and then you prompt the user for their name. So system out, print line, enter your name, and then you put the string name variable to read in the next line, and then you prompt the user for their age. So you put system out, print line, enter your age, and then you do a variable name int age, input the scanner scans for the next int, and then afterwards you print out the entered values, and then you close the input scanner. You run this, enter name, Deuane, enter age, 48, and here it gives you the inner details, Deuane 48, what the user entered. Okay, then go into the last question. Repeat the process for 2-2 until the user enters a -1 as a set no value. So you want to import the Java util scanner, public class, public static void main strings args, and first you want to create a scanner object for the user input. So scanner input equals new scanner system.in, and you want to use a while loop to repeat the question of entering the name and age until the set no value of -1 is input to quit out of the while loop. So while it's true, you prompt the user for the name. So you enter name or -1 to quit. The variable name, so the scanner reads it as the next line. And the set no value is checked if with the if condition. If the name equals -1, then you exit the program and you break out of the loop. If not, then you continue to the next one, the next input. Enter your the output request is enter your name, and then you set an int age, input next line, next int, and then you check for the set no value. If the age is equal to -1, then you do the exit program, and then you break out of the loop. And if not, if there's no set no value, then you do enter details. The enter details will output the name and the age you entered. So we run the program. Name, Deuane, age 48. And then it gives you the enter details, and then it asks you enter another name. So I'm going to enter Matt. And here I'm going to put a -1 to exit the while loop. And it says exiting program, goodbye. And that's the end.